Hi, everybody. It is 9:03 and I'm here to have our Motivation Monday. And I forgot a quote the last time. Kind of forgot a quote this time. It's so funny. Um, so had a lot going on this week. Gonna go to my channel and see. Okay. Now I can answer questions and see things. I'm not upside down this week, so that's a great thing. Or sideways. Was I upside down or sideways? Um, so no makeup, just got out of the shower, did a few chores. I kind of got sidetracked this morning and realized that I had Monday morning motivation. So I had to race in here after feeding the dogs because I was chatting and doing chores and trying to get caught up because when you're gone for any length of time, it's hard to get caught up. And then yesterday on my flight home, I thought I would be home at about, what time was I going to arrive here? Like 12:30. So I would have been home about 2ish. And I thought, oh, that'll be plenty of time to get home and make dinner and do some chores, get all of my laundry done, after you get unpacked. And there was other plans for me. So good morning, Lynn. So I get on the flight and all this weird thing starts happening and you kind of see that the stewardess are going back and forth and they have a different energy than normal. And then we get an announcement that, there's no water pressure in the bathroom, so be aware. And then we get some other announcement. It's really hard to hear on an airplane. And just things are, and the flight is so rocky and it's you know unusual because it's a direct flight from Salt Lake to Spokane. And so then like some lady behind me like starts kind of like screaming a little bit, like she's acting like she's on the roller coaster or something. And she's like saying, "This never happens on this flight," or something like that. And I was just like, okay, I'm just like taking it all in. And I just kind of like say a little prayer, God, please keep us safe because I have no idea what is going on. And then we get an announcement from the pilot that says we're turning around because um, we lost a generator on the plane. And I don't know, like, I have just enough paranoia to like think, is it really a generator? Like, is there something else? Because you'd think that they'd have like several generators and that wouldn't be enough to down a plane. So we were halfway home and they tell us we're going to turn around. And I'm like, why are we turning around? But apparently it's because Salt Lake has um, they're a maintenance hub and they have all of the mechanics or whatever. So we turned back around and then, I mean, they treated us fine. They were very informative and kept us updated on everything. They got us another plane and, got us out by 2:30. So I was home, I don't know, around 4ish. So I just picked up dinner rather than made dinner and did some chores last night and whatnot. But so the um hi Eternity, I hope you have a blessed day too. And Deborah, hi from the Oregon coast, hi from Washington, the east coast of Washington. So my husband had his procedure on Wednesday. He got some shots into his spine and that went well. He said that he's already starting to feel some of the effects of that, which sometimes they say it can take, several weeks, but he's already starting to feel the um, effects of that, so that's really good. And afterwards, we stopped at our son's house and visited with our grandbaby. Oh my gosh, he's just so adorable. I always just kind of want to sit there and cry when I'm holding him because it's such a blessing. And I'm just, so glad that I get to see that and be a part of it. And his other grandparents were there too because they were working, helping them work on the house and do some stuff. And it was just a nice little visit and time for us to, hold him and bond with him and them, honestly. And I felt I better do that because I'm going to be in an airplane several times and I'm going to be at a big show and exposed to a lot of things. And if I get sick this time, I don't want to have to wait, another, several weeks to see him. So I better go see him before I leave and get a little filled before I have to go. So that was a nice little thing on Wednesday, and then Thursday I flew out to Garden of Quilts, and I love Garden of Quilts. It's really one of my favorite shows, and I say that for several reasons. One is that it's really the most beautiful show that I've ever been to. There could be some other ones out there. I just haven't been exposed to them. So, just the full disclosure there. I mean, I go to a lot of shows and they're usually in gymnasiums or conference centers or, you know, not even conference centers. What are they called? Like arenas. So, this one is set in the Ashton Gardens of Lehi, Utah, at Thanksgiving Point. And I don't know if any of you have been to this place, but they are magnificent gardens. They're like curated by artists and horticulture and like there's themes and there's just like huge carousel made out of flowers, type of a thing. And cobblestone walkways and just all of this stuff. So the setting is just magnificent on its own. And then when you hang all of the quilts in it, it's just amazing, utterly amazing. And they have all of these events and dinners and um they bring in many famous quilters and artists and do workshops throughout the whole week and then have all of these events in the evenings. So whether it's the Doan Girls, this year they had the fireside chat with Melissa Gilbert because now she's designing fabric for Riley Blake and just all of these things. And Riley Blake partners with Thanksgiving Point to put on this show. And so it's just an amazing show. And I've been going since 2021. I was scheduled to go in 2020, but the world fell apart. And I've been going every year since 2021. And so now it's like every time I go, I get to meet up with friends that, I only probably see at that show. And, you make those connections. And then I almost always meet new people. And, and it's just amazing. In the evenings, we spend our time, kind of going out to dinner and comparing notes and having fun. And we, come up with all of these great scenarios and we had like some really great times this year and I just love all of those ladies. It's always a good time. So and of course my classes. I had 3 classes this year. Typically I go for many more days than I do than I did this year. I only taught for 2 days and um so it was fine. I was glad to have a break because of course, I just went on a cruise and then I got sick and so it kind of just like worked out that I didn't have to be there for a week and as much as I love it there this year, it was just kind of the perfect timing really of how everything is going. So, if you've been following on social media, let me see if anybody's been okay. I'm caught up. So, if you've been following on social media this morning, I am able to now share my third line with Timeless Treasures, which I'm so excited about. I am like, I've been so giddy about this line. And I'm just going to preface this to say that I have not designed a lot of quilt patterns to use panels. That has not been in my wheelhouse, but there is a panel in this line and it's the star of the show. The panel was made first and then I had to do all of the coordinating prints surrounding the panel and I had to really work to figure out my recipe or my process, I should say, for designing quilts to use panels because I haven't done a lot of that. I've done some of it, but not a lot. And but I just really wanted to share the story of the little pink barn. And so the panel is the star of the show, and I just love it. I love everything about it. The pink barn, of course, you know why there is the pink barn there. And the colorful trees that just speak to me and my heart. And, I love the trees and colorful trees. So many of my designs have those colorful trees, but I had to bring the pink trees with the ornaments and because last year when I opened that pink Christmas tree in a little reel, because I really did not know, I had ordered this pink Christmas tree on Amazon and I didn't know if it was going to be just horrible or like what it was really going to look like. Because sometimes you order those things and then you get it and it's like sheer disappointment. And when I opened it and it was so pretty. I was just like really so excited and touched by it. And so then many of my followers every day from that point on until Christmas had I received an ornament every day in the mail and it was just this amazing blessing. All of the letters and notes and everything. And so many people had asked if they could send ornaments to decorate the tree. And a few of you had said, you don't have to keep them forever. Just this year. But the thing about it is I'm not one of those people that goes and buys new Christmas decorations every year. Our tree for our home is all of my kids' ornaments, all of the family treasures. I don't go and buy new decorations. I, for one, don't have time. I think it's beautiful when other people have these curated and they come up with a theme and they're very creative and I love them. I love the Pinterest pictures. I love all of that, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the storage. I am, I will say budget conscious because I just can't see spending the money for 1 year. I just don't have that kind of budget. So I just honestly want to be surrounded by all of those memories and beautiful things and moments that we had during the holidays. So I don't think even if I had the budget and the time that I would do it. I think that my heart just really loves that, you know, kind of mismatched uh tree that tells a story. That's pretty much how I built the barn, all of the things, like all of the things in this cabinet behind me tell a story. They were all gifts from someone or mementos from a trip that I've been on or something like that. I surround myself with those things all of the time. So I don't generally do that anyways. So I saved all of the ornaments, of course, and all of the notes and cards that came with them, and I packed them all, and they will be coming out this year when I decorate my tree for the pink barn again this year. So just rest assured that they will be here on that tree for as long as I have the tree. So um I just love that I got to capture that in fabric because I wouldn't have a fabric line if it weren't for all of you. I wouldn't have all of the things if it weren't for all of the people supporting me along the way. And I love when something tells a story. And for my first line of prints, for it to be a holiday line that features my homestead and special memories of our first Christmas in the barn, and all of that is just mm, pretty special. And so all of the chickens in that panel are also some of my very favorite chickens. So Betty White, of course, everybody knows about Betty White. She's the very first one closest to the door. And then there's DJ, our rooster that was hatched last year. And then there's Dora, who is always one of our favorite chickens. She was from our Betty's first batch of chickens, and she's just has such a personality, and she isn't afraid of anything. And we named her Dora because she's Dora the Explorer. And then there's Noodle, who was from the OGs, the original grannies. My husband calls her because she was here before we moved here, and she's just, kind of goes with the flow, and she likes to be outside of, she likes to free range. And then there's Rosie, who is just very nosy, and you guys all named her, and she follows me around the yard, and she's very curious. She always wants to come into the barn, but she won't come in. So, but she does follow me around when I'm in the yard. And so some of my favorite chickens are in that panel. And the blue tractor, we got that tractor when we first moved here. And um, so there's just so much associated with that little panel, and I love that it tells a story and that I get to share that with all of you. And I designed several patterns to go with it. I'm going to do a sew along next July, like a Christmas in July sew along with a block of the month that I created for it. Very simple blocks. I'll have kits, everything available when the time comes. But um, so excited to share. Just so excited to finally launch that and share that with all of you. So, and Lynn says, I'm with you. I use my kids' ornaments too. Yes. It's just kind of a special thing. And especially now because we um, don't have them at home anymore. So now it's, even more special, I think, because we have all of those times of raising the kids. And, when my kids were leaving, I always knew as each kid left home that our lives would never be the same again. And it's not. And I'm not saying that it's horrible or, bad, but it is a change that, you know, I look at the pictures of raising our kids, and, we'll never have those moments of all of us kind of huddled in the couch watching a movie and eating popcorn together and laughing together. And I mean, we laugh together and all that stuff, but it's not the same when, I can't cuddle my 28-year-old son, it's that's just not going to be normal or right, and I wouldn't do it. So, um but so yeah, just great things. So this week today I'm going to be catching up, getting all of my orders out from the time that I was gone. I have some binding to do. I need to get some things ready for video, and I am still doing laundry. And you're only gone for 4 days, but there's things that happen around here that I don't know, my husband. But the other good news is that they started painting the house, which is really exciting. I came home. Um, we hired painters that only work on the weekends because it's kind of their side hustle. So our progress is kind of slow going. They have to prepare everything, and so they're doing everything in segments. And so he got the front part of the house painted mostly. And so I came in yesterday, and oh, it just looks so fresh and clean. And I have no more like chipped paint on the top. And I mean, there's still some on the sides, but they at least started. And so that makes you feel good that that has started. And so, and I'm waiting to get the last estimate from the last roofer so that we can get our roof fixed, which is been, you know, kind of a thorn in my side. But isn't it going to be so great when I have all of these things done and then I don't have to worry about them for some time? I wonder if that time is ever going to happen, honestly. And so, on top of that, my sample yardage for a holiday homestead is coming this week. So I am in a race to get all of those samples done. And I have some samples from Free Spirit coming. And so I am enlisting the help of my sample makers to help me get all of that done. Sorry. So sorry, I got a little sneeze going on there. So what else was I doing this week? Yeah, I don't know what else is. I have lists and I have my schedule. I just haven't looked at it because sometimes when you get back, you don't want to look at everything that's going to happen for this whole week because sometimes it seems a little overwhelming. But rest assured, I'll be busy. Yeah. So any questions? I was going to share something else. I think there was something else that popped into my mind. Oh, where's my coffee? Oh. Oh yeah. So all of my samples, I'm going to be in Market. If any of you happen to go to Quilt Market, it's a large trade show. So it's like for businesses, quilt shops, those sorts of companies. Then you, it's always it's always been the last week of Houston, October in Houston, and next year apparently they're moving it. I think to like the first week or somewhere in there, but basically the beginning of the month. And so, but it's I'm going to be working in the Timeless Treasures booth, and the booth number is 1224, which is Christmas Eve, the date Christmas Eve, which I think is funny because my first printed line is a holiday line. So 1224, and so I'm going to start getting all my samples done this week so that I can be prepared for that. And what else was I going to share? I was going to share something else. I don't remember. I'll just save it for next week. So we'll see what happens. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm gonna get my hair done this week. I have to go to the dentist this week. I know that. Who loves the dentist? Question. I have the Pink Barn on my laptop in a PDF file. My printer broke and I can't find anything to send it to my phone to print it. Do you mean do you mean the block for the Solom? Oh, okay. So if you have the PDF, can you send the PDF to your email and then send it to like Staples or something until you get your printer fixed? if you email it to me, I can maybe try to help you, or sorry, email me to remind me, and then I can send you another PDF if that's what you need me to do. I'm happy to resend it to you. That's weird. Yeah. So just email me, and I will send you the block again so that you can send it on and have it printed. No problem. The next block is coming out tomorrow. Yay. So the next block is not going to be is it's going to take a little bit more time. It's an easy block, but it's going to be way more time consuming because of all the cutting and sewing and um but so cute. It but more labor intensive this time. So just be prepared for that. They some weeks are going to be more, some weeks are going to be less. So this week is going to be a little bit more time consuming. But share your pictures in the Facebook group, my sew along group, that I love seeing everybody's fabric choices and what is going on. And so yeah, the video will come out on Friday. The new block comes out tomorrow. That's always exciting. And yeah, and I designed a scrap quilt last night. I every now and then just want to design a scrap quilt because we all have scraps. And so last night I spent some time designing a scrap quilt, and I just really love it. I think it's perfect to just throw all of the scraps in, but it's still kind of controlled because it has a background. And I thought, well, I could maybe do some sort of mystery sew along in February, Marchish, or maybe the middle of January, we can start it. I don't know. But doing a mystery sew along and just giving you guys steps every week to do and breaking it up and and just really busting into those scraps because they're simple little patches and things, but I've arranged them in a certain way that I just think the design is really cute. And well, I shouldn't say cute. It's like more like pretty. It's really pretty. And so tell me what you think about that. Would you be willing to sign up for that? Because some of you are already doing the little pink homestead. So maybe that's too much, but I just thought it was a really great idea in the middle of winter to just bust out our scraps and just, kind of work on that a little bit. And um, so I uh I always love a good scrappy, and I just don't have a lot of time to work on a scrappy, but it gives me a good excuse to work on a scrappy because then I'll be, hosting the sew along for you guys. Um and before I was a designer, I would say that most of my quilts were scrap quilts, and I say that because I really just, when I had time to sew, I just didn't want to have to think about anything. And I loved digging into my scraps and just seeing what would unfold in front of my eyes. All of those sort of, and I would just throw everything in, whether it was Halloween, baby, Christmas, colorful, whatever it was. I just threw everything in, and they always seem to work out for me. I know that a lot of people don't like that, but that is really where my heart is, because again, they tell a story, right? Because as you look at those scrap quilts, I'll say, oh, I used that baby fabric for this quilt that I made for so and so, or I used this plaid fabric for this, or that was my husband's shirt, or whatever it was. And I just really love the stories that a scrap quilt tells. And all of those quilts from our grandparents, and most of the time someone holds those up and say those are from my mom's old clothes, or my dad's old shirts, or and we never like make that distinction with our scrap quilts, right? Because they're just like scrap quilts from all of the other quilts that we've made. But there is something special about that. And So I love the story that comes along with a scrap quilt. But for my scrap quilt, I'll be using all solids because I have so many solid scraps. So I won't be able to really distinguish that story. So, um, so yeah, anyway. All right. So share your blocks in the group, tag me on Instagram if you want to do that. And I will see about getting that mystery quilt organized and get some videos done maybe. And we'll see how we feel. Maybe you guys will be bogged down with Little Pink Homestead by then. I have no idea, but doesn't hurt to try. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some chores done, getting some tonight we're having huevos rancheros for dinner, and so I'll get all of my vegetables prepped for that. That's like one of our favorite meals. And I always I make big pots of refried beans when I make refried beans, and then I freeze them in portions that I know that we'll use. And so I always kind of have some of that stuff ready. And so it's nice that I just had to thaw some of those out last night and we'll eat them today. So I always try to have like some sort of frozen meals or components of a meal in our freezer so that when I do travel a lot, either, I can have something ready for Rob, or when I come back, I don't have to worry about going to the grocery store and doing all of that. And I can do it on my regular timeline, so that I can just like manage my time well. And also, we don't have to eat out. I mean, we did yesterday, but um, my plan didn't go as planned. So, but I really tried to do that just for the convenience and the health reasons, budget reasons, all of that. So I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I hope you're motivated to get your blocks done and motivated to get some quilting done. It's starting to cool down here, and I just love being in the studio during that time. So I'll be sure to share some pictures, and um, thanks for coming and sharing this time with me today. I really appreciate it. Bye.